Hey feline friends, welcome back to my channel. As you all know, I adopted my new tabby cat Mika about 3 months ago, and it's been quite the journey getting to know her and building a relationship with her. This was actually my first time adopting an adult cat who previously used to be a stray, so I feel like it's been a really cool learning process figuring out how to build trust with her and make sure that she feels safe in her environment. So for those of you who are in a similar boat, you may be wondering, how do I get my cat to trust me? In this video, I kind of wanted to share my own personal journey with Mika and provide 3 of my top tips for getting a shy or timid cat to trust you. So without further ado, let's get into the video. The first tip I have for you, and you're not gonna like hearing this, is to just leave your cat alone. I think this is actually the most important thing you can do when you first bring home a new cat, because this kind of lets them know that you're not a threat and you're gonna let them acclimate to the environment on their own terms. Cats are very territorial, so from your cat's perspective, especially if they've come from a previous foster home or a shelter, they're in a brand new environment and they don't recognize any of the scents around them. So the first day that we brought Mika home, she was absolutely petrified. We put the carrier in the living room next to the litter box, but she refused to come out. She was just so frozen in fear. So what we did was, like I said, we left the carrier out in the living room next to her litter box so that she knew where all her stuff was, and then we just went into the bedroom to take a nap. We knew that she wasn't gonna come out anytime soon, and we didn't want to overwhelm her, so we literally just left her alone. What had happened is when we woke up, she was no longer in her carrier, but she was actually nowhere to be found. So if you watched my initial adoption story, you'll know that we actually thought that Mika went missing. What had happened is that she found a little nook underneath our dishwasher that led to a space behind our kitchen cabinets. So she was actually hiding in there all day, and the only reason we knew this was because we set up a hidden camera when we went to go eat later that night. So this is very, very normal for a shy cat. They're gonna want to find a safe hiding space where you can't reach them, because again, they don't know who you are, they don't know where they are. If this happens with your new cat, please be assured that it's totally fine, and it's very important to just let them hide. Some people might want to block off their hiding spot, but I really advise you not to do this, because this is going to prevent them from trusting you. If you're taking away their one safe haven in your home or in your apartment, they're not going to like you. So I think that's putting you off to a pretty negative start. Let them explore on their own terms, and when they are ready, they will come to you. So the next tip I have for you is to build trust with food. But by this, I don't mean just throwing treats at your cat or pushing their food bowl towards them, because that's really gonna scare them if they're not familiar with the environment yet. So what we did with Mika is we just left her dry kibble out, we left water out, and then like I said, we just completely left her alone, and that really allowed her to go get her food, get her water whenever she was ready. Her foster mom had actually told me that they were able to build more trust with her through wet food. I didn't want to leave that out the first day because I didn't want it to sit out all day and go bad if she didn't eat it right away. But that night, Mika had actually come out of her hiding spot while we were in the living room. I think at that point, she already kind of got her scent on a few things. She was no longer hangry because she got some food in her stomach. Again, I didn't want to rush into anything, so I didn't like automatically go try to pet her, but I did go get a can of wet food for her, and I put a little bit of that wet food out by her play area. Eventually, she played with her toys a little bit and she went to go nibble on her wet food. So another thing I want to say about this, and it's going to sound a little bit odd, but it's really important to build a feeding schedule that works for your cat's needs. Mika used to be a stray cat, so I actually started to notice that she had a lot of food insecurity. I think she was so used to living out on the streets, food was never guaranteed for her, and I think that caused a lot of her anxiety. And initially, her foster mom had told me that they fed her twice a day, once in the morning and once at night, but I noticed that every meal we gave her, she would just completely inhale it, eat super quickly, and then she would get really anxious throughout the day between her meals. Every time I would get up or like I would start start walking past her food bowl, she would jolt to her bowl, hoping that I would give her food. So I started to do a little more research into this, and I realized that food insecurity was a big thing for a lot of foster cats or cats who were used to living out on the streets. So we adapted her eating schedule to give her frequent small meals throughout the day. And luckily I work from home, so I'm able to do that. But if you're looking to adjust to a schedule like this, I would also recommend buying an automatic feeder. Once we did that, I noticed a huge change in her behavior. She actually became a lot more calm. I think she just trusted us a little bit more. She realized that this was her space, we weren't gonna hurt her, and she started to associate us with all of her basic needs. It took us a little bit of time to figure out what exactly works for her, but as of right now, we give her 3 small portions of dry kibble throughout the day, and then between portions 1 and 2, I'll also give her like a 1/4 of a can of wet food every day. And that has been working beautifully for us. You may also be wondering why we didn't just free feed her in that case. It's because Mika didn't really know how to regulate her portions. I was a little bit worried that if we free fed her, she would get overweight. Not all cats are like that. Some cats are very good about regulating their own portions, but I don't think Mika is one of those cats. So my third and final tip is gonna sound a little bit odd, but it's to kind of play off of your cat's emotions. And this is gonna take some time, especially for some new cat owners, but I think it's very helpful to learn how to read your cat's body language and figure out what exactly it is that they need from you or they want from you in any given moment. So for example, petting was a huge challenge when we first got her. She did not like to be touched. She got scared very, very easily. So noticing that, I really just tried to leave her alone and let her come to me. Every time she would wake up from a nap, she'd be in a really good, loving mood. She'd approach me, she'd rub against my legs, and that's how I knew that she was signaling to me that she wanted some scratches and she wanted some affection. As of today, Mika lets us pet her, no problem. She even cuddles with me quite frequently now. She loves sitting next to me, she loves being around me, and she always sleeps right next to my stomach at night. I think a lot of it had to do with us just really respecting what she needs and wants from us. I never force her to come sit on my lap. I never pick her up, because those are things that are gonna make her less trusting of us. I just want to throw one more bonus tip in there, but one other thing we did was we got a Pheromone Diffuser. You might already be familiar with this, but essentially Pheromone is a pheromone diffuser, and it's known for diffusing a certain type of pheromone that's produced by a cat's cheek, and this is supposed to help calm their anxiety. I can't say definitively whether or not it helped, but I've been using it for about 2 months now, and Mika and I have come a long way in terms of her trusting me. It may have helped, it may have not, but if you want like an extra ease of mind, I would recommend trying it out. But that pretty much sums up this video. I will say it's been such a fulfilling and different type of experience raising a cat who used to be a stray. I don't know, there's just something so special about that moment that you realize your cat is starting to trust you and they're starting to seek love from you. If you're in a situation where your cat is still scared of you, do not worry. It just takes time, it takes patience, but you will get there. As always, thank you so much for watching, and please feel free to leave any questions or concerns you have down in the comments section below. See you next time. Bye.